All right. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to today's session of the Design Nuances Edu series by DQ Labs. I'm going to share my screen right now. Um, so just to reiterate, if you're attending this session for the first time, Design Nuances Edu series has certain objective. One is to learn the nuance of a new topic specific to design, fashion, or architecture. You get to interact with an expert and absorb the knowledge that they share. And you also get introduced to a new school and understand their purpose of why they exist, right? And to have this, so today's topic is by the school called the Design Village. And the topic is Discover, Design, and Deliver, right? And to talk more about this topic, we have Professor Rohit Kothari, who is the faculty at the Design Village. Rohit is a facilitator of the product and industrial designs at the Design Village. It's an industry-centric design school. Rohit has vast experience in academia as well as practice of design across India, Australia, and Singapore. He believes design is a process oriented and research driven realm. Rohit has worked in lighting and furniture design and has led several award winning projects, including the prestigious Toycathon. All right. So, Rohit, thank you for coming in. Um, for those of you who are interested in applying to the Design Village, for 2025 admissions, their applications are open. You can find their application link on DQ Edge. And Raina Ghosh is here as well. Raina could talk you through the application process. Maybe once this talk is done by Rohit. But for now, we welcome the TDV team. Thank you, Rohit and Raina, for making it here. And Rohit, I'm going to stop right now and I'm going to allow screen sharing. So you can take it from here. Thanks so much for coming in.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Okay, good evening. My name is Rohit Kothari. I hope you can see me, and I hope you're having a lovely evening. I just wanted to meet everyone over here and talk about the topic that I will be taking up today is discover, design, and deliver. But the whole idea is that at the Design Village, I work over here as a product design faculty, and over here I'm recognized more as a design facilitator. The whole idea why I try to talk to a lot of students about this topic is that in design, it is very important that we really work towards process. Process is so important that it can really give you the idea of not only sticking to the stream of the design that you are choosing. For example, I am a product designer and I think that I am just limited to products, but products in 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 a broader perspective, if you see, it has a lot of categories and more subcategories. But at the end of the day, we are always over here to understand that what are we delivering for what type of people and what type of societies. It is very, very important that we really, really work towards understanding what is the process of design and is the reason why I'm over here. So as I understand that most of the people over here that I will be meeting, and I think the ones who are also looking for a master's degree or even just to take up design as an understanding is that, there is this thing called the education system, how we start our lives. And we usually see that the school happens to us. And in the school, it is very different from how we learn learn in the field of design and how we operate in the field of design. Learning by doing is the approach over here in the field of design. And I usually have this thing for the students, the young minds, to tell them that the day your hands stop working is the day you actually, without even realizing, you will feel that there is something missing, and that is the day, and that missing part is that you have stopped designing. So it is always important that you always should keep experimenting and understanding, talking to people, taking notes, and all these types of things always are very important. So let me just come down to what I was talking about, school. So school happens to us in the school, all the way starting from a very nascent stage, which is the nursery, and graduating from class 12th. We have the 14 years of our lives where we are given ruled notebooks, be it any subject, or even checkered notebooks, and in class one, two, or three. And then we climb up that ladder to have a very understanding, a profound understanding of how the world is functioning, what happened in the past, what are chemicals, and what is the study of weight bearing structures, and how is a biogas plant made, and what is the role of animals, insects, and how does the biology work, and everything is just in a nutshell in those 14 years. But now when we actually want to get out of this field and transition into the field of this creative angle, which is called the field of design, we should always understand that it is a huge transition. A school is nothing but an area where you have a lot of students from all different types of interests sitting in one class. But in the field of design, you have a lot of your peers, your colleagues, your partners, or whosoever is sitting with you in interested in the field of design. And how do you transition from a ruled notebook to an A3 sheet where you are using markers, pencils, uh, sketch pens, and also noting down what you have to actually start and make. If I say that, okay, you are not a designer, but I know that everybody is creative. How do I make sure that you will be able to design what it is? Why? Because I feel that the products that I will make you design, or the apparel that I'll make you design, or I'll ask you to design, is not something that you have not ever seen before. So if I say that please design a furniture for this corner, or make me a furniture where you actually help me give a relaxed position, then I think it will be better for me to come up with a come up with a solution which I have not even seen before, but it also is kind of adaptable to the thing. Like, for example, let me just give you an example of how this is a chair over here. And this is nothing but a calendar that has been reimagined for the Citibank people. Someone just designed it. But the whole idea is that we have always seen a chair with a backrest, with a seat, and all these four legs. How can we transform this? How can we transform this? How can we transform this? Do you think by just taking a pen and a paper and you can just start sketching and you will be able to make a chair? Yes, for starters, it is good. But if you actually want to be a person who gets recognized in the industry, you have to have a very strong game in discovering the art of observation. So it is always important to understand that if you are in the field of design, the school or the place is nothing but an information gathering center, or a place which gives you a lot of direction in your experiments. So whenever a student comes down to the design village, we always ask them that what is it exactly that you feel that you want to do in the field of design. And obviously, most of them, we find them as a very blank people, and we give them a lot of exposure in terms of taking them to a very remote location like a village where they've never ever seen before. We help them work with people in the daily livings, like for example plowing the field, or just cooking food, or cleaning the clothes, or even understanding the drying process of how people live, and also the habitat of how people are living with animals, and also with the limited amount of resources. So once you see that, you will be able to understand that, I have a lot of opportunities and a lot of problem areas that I can identify and provide them with a better living. So this gives a very interesting edge over you, your mind, and the way you are observing things. And then you have a lot of ideas where you can talk to the people, understand how do you live, how is the winter season over here, how is the summer season over here, what do you eat, and how are you dressed, how do you keep yourself warm or how do you keep yourself cold, how do you store, how do you get all of this, what is the income structure, what is the socio-economic angle, all these types of things all come into place. So yes, all I can say is that once you start in the field of design, you always have to understand that what are you observing. Observation can be as simple as I ask you that, hey, this is a switchboard right in front of you, or this is a flower or a leaf right in front of you. Why don't you look at it and why don't you sketch it? Observation is that also. And observation is also like, for example, if I say that, why don't you go to a railway station, or probably why don't you blindfold yourself, have a friend around you or have your lecturer around you, and just try to navigate from one point to another point. You will be able to understand that what exactly is it by stepping into another person's shoes. This art of stepping into another person's shoe is called empathy. In design, the word empathy is very, very important because we are nothing but a user centric design approach where we keep the user, and the user can be a man, user can be a woman, user can be a child, user can be even an animal, user can be a type of industry, a user can be labor force, a user can be people who are specifically working in a certain type of fields, like for example farmers, or probably mountaineers, or probably swimmers, or probably astronauts, and etc etc. Whatever your interests are and whatever their needs are, you are the person who is identifying the gaps in their lives, and then you are trying to mitigate everything. I hope you understand all of these things, and I hope I'm not going too fast. I love talking about design, but it is very important for me that you are also understanding what I'm trying to say. So if you have any questions, please do keep posting them. So at least once when we have the question answered out, we can put it up. So now, what I also was talking about is the field of design and the importance of the design process. So in the field of the design process, we start with 3Ds of design. There are many design processes that we can come up with, but over here, let's talk about something which has been created by Frog Studios. Frog is one of the prestigious and one of the most eminent design studios in the world. They have branches all over the world, and they came up with the 3Ds of design called Discover, Design, and Deliver. Let me just brief you up through the whole idea of what is Discover, what is Design, and what is Deliver. Okay, so in the field of design, what is Discover? For example, for example, I have to, I, I, I see this. I just have this today with me as a product that I can just showcase over here. So you see this as a chair, okay? And over here, when you see this as a chair, just 1 second, I'll just unblur myself and try to show you what exactly I'm trying to show. Okay, I hope you can see this chair. So this chair is a chair because we've always seen that this is a chair. What if I say that, okay, let's understand that this is a piece of furniture? And what if we say that we are not allowed to use the word? The challenge is that we are not allowed to use the word over here called the chair, which we always know that what it is. Can we describe it? Can we describe it and understand? Can I say that okay, this is something that provides backrest, this provides comfort, and since this has this seesaw kind of a structure, so it's a rocking device. So you can see that okay, this gives you that kind of relaxation where you have some kind of movement, and it's helpful for someone who would like to sleep on a chair. So what are the areas that you feel is something that you want to design? Sometimes when we question ourselves like this, we usually find ourselves getting stuck because sometimes we feel that, my God, there are so many chairs out there in the world. Why and why do I need to create just another chair? And it will be so much challenging because the design might just click and I might just end up maybe falsely plagiarizing someone's design without even realizing, and still can invite a lot of trouble. So I usually have a very interesting approach towards this is that don't call it a chair. As I was talking about that, don't call it a chair. What is this? It can have so many ways of looking at it. I want to create something that helps me sit on it. Or I want something that helps me relax and also has a little bit of movement while helping me sleep. But do you think I'm getting the words out of this? But do you think once I prepare the entire statement, do you think this chair or this product, whatever this is going to be the only answer? So this is the question that you always have to come up with. So in the field of let me just come down to the start of this entire thing is that discover. What is discover? Discover means you are here to discover something about that subject that which has been given to you. For example, furniture. What is furniture? Ask yourself these questions. I know that you know a lot of things because you've been seeing furniture for a long, long time. You've been using your bed, you've been using your side table, you study on a study table, you have furniture in your school, there is furniture in your principal's office, the furniture in the teacher's room also looks quite different. We've seen furniture all our lives, but do you think that is knowledge? No. If you feel that is knowledge, then I think you should really rethink about the entire journey of what you're actually thinking. So I would always warn the students over here is that please don't come up with preconceived notions about, that I already know what this is. It's just a bottle or it's just a headphone. Why do I need to make this? These are the basic shapes. I'll just do a little bit of here and there. But I'm telling you, 5 years down the line, and once you look at your work back, you will understand that, I was not that innovative. What I'm teaching you over here is trying to have an innovative approach and also to be more excited to create more and more designs. Obviously, whatever we create, all of them will not be successful. So they will always be measured with some or the other kind of challenges or questions that people will pose. That, how will I be able to sit? Or how do you think this is comfortable? Or probably it actually is not looking comfortable, but probably you found a way that a flat surface could be so comfortable and you would want me, but the user is quite hesitant. What do you do then? You can't push them. Okay. So in the field of discovery, you should always act like a small little child and always ask these basic questions, whatever is coming in your mind. What is a chair? What does it do? Why is it part of a furniture field? And what are the other types of designs in a chair? What are the materials that are being used in a chair? What is a flat pack furniture? What is a knockdown furniture? Okay, all these types of things. What is the height? If I want to create the same type of a chair for a 5-year-old girl and the same type of chair for an 85-year-old man, do you think that will be the same? Do you think they will come over there? All these types of questions you should always shoot on the paper and try to have those answers. Because why? It is making you curious. It is helping you understand the questions that you probably thought that maybe I'll figure it out, or probably I'll ask Google. But it is always better that you create a separate folder or a design journal that you should always keep along with you and keep scribbling and writing all the time, because that is the only way you can have a fraction of your mind which is on paper, and whatever you write, until unless you destroy it or erase it, it will always be permanent. So you can always revisit it with a fresh mind and always try to understand that what this is. So discover is nothing but a very interesting research phase where you understand not only about the product, not only about the company, but also about the material, the user behavior, and why he or she is preferring such type of things. So for example, once we conclude our, so I think it's a very basic thing to understand that when we were when during our language classes back in school, our teachers always used to teach us that whenever you write a letter or a essay or something which is a very long 200, 300, or a 500 word article or some write up like that, we always used to be given, three parts of it: introduction, body, and conclusion. Let us just understand what is this conclusion wala phase. Okay, so what is conclusion? In the conclusion you write that, okay, so and so qualities are there with me and these are the requirements of your company, is the reason why I would like to conclude in the statement that I fit well for the job. Or probably is the conclusion is that why I was not part of this, why I was not part of this episode in the office. Or, we have these conclusive statements that, okay, is the reason why I fit that I find myself a better fit for this sports competition or anything, perhaps. So in this conclusion, in the discovery phase, you always have to come up with a conclusion, that what is asking yourself a question, that what did you research about and what were your findings in the research. Once you come up with the findings in your research, you will be able to understand that you can write a normal statement that, okay, I would like to design a furniture for a 5-year-old girl who is finding storage issues, and her mother is very particular about keeping things on a particular way, which is in a disciplined manner, and having a easy access. And also, since she is a 5-year-old kid, inculcating these habits probably might be a little challenging. So, just like any other furniture, I don't want it to be too edgy or something which can, be harmful. So you can always come up with this conclusion and try to simplify it, or probably you can come up with another conclusion in the form of a question that, how can I make the morning experience of a child wonderful? As simple as that. So this conclusion that I was talking about is nothing but a summation of your research, number one. And second way of looking at it is that it is nothing but a new directive towards what you are going to do next, and a little different. Okay. So a research is very important. If your research is loose, you will never have something new and exciting to even ponder over. So this is very important in the field of design. And there are many students who straight away think that I have the skills, I know 3D, I have a fancy laptop, I have really nice rendering softwares, and I really worked these nights to get my lighting game on and get the texturing mapping. There are these technical things which is important, but you cannot make that as an excuse to omit research out of the entire process. Research is one of the most important things, and once your design fails, you will always fall back on research. This is the most important part, and once you don't have anything to fall back on, you will have to start all over again. And that time, trust me, that time, telling you out of experience, that time you will have very less amount of time. So don't even try cheating your way into this in the initial stages, because you probably want to get this entire process right, and you will be able to apply it. I am really sorry that probably I might be talking more in terms of a product oriented person, because I'm a product designer, but please understand that this is something which is called design process. A design process is something so rich and so powerful and so magical. For example, I am a product designer, which I am, and tomorrow I want to design something in terms of a garment, or probably a set design, or something in terms of interiors or something. Will I say no because my degree says it or my experience doesn't allow me to? I probably will definitely give it a try. And I will make sure that I won't fail. And why I won't fail? Because I have the confidence and I have the workability in terms of how I can use the design process to help me educate and deliver at the same time. And that's one of the most exciting things to be in the field of design. Okay. And once you are actually good in another field, it just adds another feather in your cap, probably adding another layer to, okay, he can design this and he can design this as well. Look at this, it probably was successful, and that really catered to the needs of those people. Okay. So please understand that, don't limit yourself in terms of these things. Now, uh, let me just come back to the topic, which is like ending the discovery phase and coming down to the designing phase. The designing phase is the part where you are going to be, very wild in terms of your explorations. And it usually starts with a lot of brainstorming, because lately you have collected a lot of information. Okay, and now you have just collected, and now you have to just deliver and deliver. Not the deliver in the last wala deliver, but in the designing phase. Now you have a sheet of paper, you have your 3D printer, you have all your research, you will have to design a few mood boards, and you definitely would have a lot of people around you whom you can do. I am telling you guys, if you really want to be in the field of design and you really want to enjoy this field, please don't hesitate to share your peace of mind with the people around you. Don't feel the fact that, what if he takes my design? What if she makes this and wins an award? Please. You are just helping another person gain another perspective. And definitely, once you open up to a lot of people, you are not only making friends, but you are making potential networking clients. And it all starts in the school level. So please make sure that you are generally sharing ideas and trying to get in a lot of inputs, because the people whom you are designing for are no less than the people who are around you. Okay, so definitely they will also have an opinion, but it is always important to understand that if you listen to everyone, then probably you should not end up getting directed from them, because you have done the research, not them. So it is always important to listen from everyone, and just have a validation that whether you are going right or not, or whether what they're saying is actually that important, or probably you can probably take care of it at a later stage. Those types of challenges you can actually work towards. So now what I'm trying to say is, in the field of designing, now you have an A3 sheet. Okay. Usually we are prescribed for an A3 sheet. We take our markers, we take our ball pens, and we take our mood boards right and around us, and we just start sketching, and start sketching not only in terms of, up to now we have to sketch. You can have clay, you can go to the workshop, you can take straws, you can take basic office stationery, and just try to create some structures that can really be helpful to understand what this is. I just want to tell you one truth about the designing phase. One of the major things that I usually tell the students is, many students think that in a design college or a design university, sketching is like wow, and it is very, 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 very important. I somehow agree with it. But some people sketch so well that they don't even want to go to another process to come up with another way of expressing a design. For example, if I give you Play Doh, or if I just give you Play Doh is nothing but a clay for kids, it's just a synthetic clay. But if I give you like a real clay, okay, and I just ask, why don't you make a small little mock up out of it? Like a fake model, but it has the probably the size or a scaled down version of that. And I just want to see that, okay, how is the hold, and how do you think I will be doing this? Do you think if I have a piece of sketch, will I be able to hold it? For example, this is the paper, will I be able to hold it? I will have such a nice way. I'll probably work on the fingers. I'll probably work on the details. I'll probably work on the edges. I'll probably work on the fillets, and I'll probably come up with the best sketch with the best rendering. But can you hold it? Can you wear it? Can you use it? No. So sketching is limited towards that. And I am not saying that don't sketch, but I'm saying that while you sketch, you should understand that parallelly, you should also be building. And once you are building, you have a better idea, and you end up having a lot of fun. And not only one concept, you have to create at least 5 to 7 concepts, and all different. For example, for example, let me just come down to that little model that I was actually using. For example, that this is the chair. Probably one of my concepts was this chair. Hypothetically, let's think that, okay, this is one of my concept. And I think that, okay, this is one concept. And then I create another part where I put the handrest over here, probably thinking that, okay, the person who is sitting on a rocking chair should have a lot of nice upholstered things. I'll have this entire structure upholstered with a very nice cloth, not leathery kind of stuff. It should not look like a car seat, well, something like that. And then probably, since I have something which is removable, I can use this. And underneath over here, I can work towards this empty area for my storage, like storing remotes or storing toys or just my notebook, and etc. etc. All of this is not. All of this is just one concept. Many students think that, okay, I made a chair, now the next concept is going to be handrails. The third concept is going to be upholstery. The fourth concept is going to be storage. No, it's not this. So this concept is just one, and whatever changes you make around this structure, changing the look and feel, okay, this is just still one concept. If you want to make another concept, it should not look like a rocking chair at all. Okay, or probably find another way of, probably find another design altogether. Okay, so this is one of the major mistakes. Even some students who don't pay attention make such mistakes even by coming in the third year, sadly, but this is one of the realities. So I'm just trying to meet you in that part of your life where you're just starting out, and trying to make most of what I'm trying to tell you out of my own experience. Okay, so I think this also calls for the end of the design phase. We covered discover and design. And last but not the least, I would just like to say that in the design phase, before I end this stage, I have another stage to go. Last but not the least, when I want to just conclude this design stage, the design stage should usually comes up with five concepts or seven concepts. Okay, and among these five or seven concepts, these are tried and tested concepts. Each of them are fighting with each other to win that which one will actually go in the manufacturing right now. It can be a cloth, it can be a character animation, it can be a logo, it can be a product just like a chair, or just anything, perhaps whatever in the field of design that I probably have missed right now. Okay, it can be anything. So please, again, I'm repeating myself, don't consider me as just a person who just talks about product design, but I think this is, I think, I am sure that this probably works for each and every field given in the field of design, is the reason why the design process is very important in any person's life who is wishing to do the design. So one of the concepts definitely goes ahead. Okay, now let's see. There are a lot of chances where it happens that you have to come up with technical drawings. You have to come up with something called as BOM, not a blast wala bomb, BOM, bill of materials, the things that are attached with the product. What is the type of material? What cloth are you going to use? What wood are you going to use? What colors are you going to use? You have to give all of that as a requirement to the industry. But usually we as designers, okay, we contact the industry probably at a later stage, but we always finalize our design towards the opportunities or the problems that we usually say in the field of design to find that and then present it. Now, let me introduce you to the deliver phase. In the deliver phase, I would just like to sum it up. I can sum it up in just one line, but I just can't hold myself. But I will just sum it up in one line. Presentation is everything. In the field of design, you are a designer who is thinking about a user who is not even paying attention to that detail the way you are paying attention to that detail, because it is your job to make their lives a little bit easier and a little bit joyous, or whatever feeling or whatever experience would you like to give them. Okay, so it is very important to have a very nice presentation, not in terms of your PowerPoint slides, but in terms of how you present your designs, and how the things around it are also there. For example, I create this chair. Again, welcome to the Citibank chair model. For example, I create this chair. This is something which looks pretty relaxing. And what if I put it in someone's desk in an office, where he has to work probably 9 hours or 10 hours a day? Do you think this kind of poster that I make will do you think this is the right area? I really don't think so. While you're working, you need something which is a little heightened, something which has rotations, something which gives you a lot of edge, like the ones which I'm sitting on. Okay, like that. This is something which is for a relaxing, probably in your living room, or probably when you watch TV and you just want another ottoman so that you can spread. You can just elongate your legs and then just probably sleep in a slanted manner. Okay, and enjoy your TV show and your popcorn. But this is the whole idea. Our job as designers is not that, Logi, I've made the design, please go. You are the seller, you are the creator, and you are the person who is mitigating each and everything. So it is very important that you make a good presentation. And how do we do presentations? Presentations, there are so many ways. And nowadays, the young generation that I am actually speaking with, you guys are way much better than us, because you have Instagram, you have so many filters, you have such nice examples of storytelling out there. Everybody is trying, whether they're dancing, whether they're doing anything, whether they're just doing makeup. There's so many interesting ways. Even if I go on a trip, or even if an Instagrammer goes on a trip, they have their minds always working. So just understand that how will you how will you try to create one, how will you try to present one of your creations in such a manner that one actually gets lured into the experience that you're trying to give. It can be anything. You want to create a medical device, or probably you have given a fractured dog or a disabled dog a new limb, or probably someone a visually impaired person or a blind person some kind of aid, not only a stick but something that he or she can talk over the phone to his relatives at any given point. All those types of things. It is very important that you have a very nice journey, and in this you don't start you have to understand that, okay, uh, why should you buy this product? And you should always understand, uh, not kill the empathy only in the research part, but still you have to empathize with the person, thinking that what questions will this person actually ask? What questions is this person going to ask when he or she is using the product after 1 or 2 years? Should I come up with a version 2.0? Should I do this? Should I do that? All these types of things need to be taken care of. And obviously, in the end, I would just like to say that no product is perfect, but you are trying to make one of the areas perfect enough so that in that moment or in that use, the user is not getting deviated from that. Okay, and trying to give a lot of solutions. So all in all, I would just like to tell you that the 3 Ds of design: discover, design, and deliver. These are the 3 Ds of design which will really help you work towards the start and end and understand one particular type of subject in that particular subcategory really well. Like, for example, I can just take up 4 or 5 challenges. I want to design one kitchen product. I want to design a product for the bathroom. I want to design a product for the bedroom. I want to design a product for the living room. And I want to design a product for the stairs. Take up those challenges, observe those areas, and try to come up with something. And please don't judge yourself on the areas that, okay, this is going to be bad, or this is going to be wrong, this is going to fail, or this is going to succeed. Just create and then just try to keep iterating it. Okay, so thank you so much. If you definitely have some questions, please do ask.
All right, thank you for that, Rohit. It's a very interesting conversation you had on this topic: design, discover, design, and deliver, right? And we've been interacting with so many students um, who really come up with these ideas and say, I have this great idea and I want to work on that. And I think this is most relevant to them, and especially the aspiring group of design students that we have. Um, we interact with a lot of them, and I want to start off with asking you about this, right?
Yeah,
For the discover phase. We have a lot of students who say, see, I have this idea and I want to do it, right? And they just start getting into the prototype and building something in that.
yeah,
What is the
yeah.
danger with that, right?
So
Because what you focused on was on research, right? I have
yes,
the idea,
yes.
do the research, but they just get into that. So what is the danger or the red flag there?
The danger and the red flag is that, for example, we usually get excited at a very early stage that, okay, sir, I found a new way of opening a bottle, or probably a new way of listening to music. Okay, there are these ways where you can just clip things on your ear and not have have any sound going right inside your ear and worrying about the earwax and all that. So the whole idea is, if we research a little bit about what that particular product is, be it a sari, be it a normal wire, or be it just a challenge with your organizing skills in a particular setup. So the excitement is so high that time that a student is like, let's just make, because the preconceived notion about design is that it's always something which has to be tangible, something that should be able to hold. Then they think that, okay, I sketch, but there needs to be something beyond a sketch, and they think that this is giving them a 3D structure will be actually important. But usually, I'll tell you, 80% of them usually fail. They don't turn out to be so successful. The danger over here is that they have not calculated the risks over there. Is the reason why I'm saying that get some temporary knowledge. Don't make a book out of it. Don't read everything, because obviously you are not in here to waste your energy in purely researching and then just be very tired that okay, now I don't want to design because research has given me so much of clarity that I feel that I was wrong all the time and my excitement has completely died down. No, have temporary knowledge. That's why I say that discover, design, and deliver. These are three phases, okay? And if I say that I give you six hours, use 2 hours for research, 2 hours for design, and 2 hours for deliver. But if you just straight away use these 6 hours, just 3 hours for designing and 3 hours for delivery, I am definitely telling you, you are in there for a lot of trouble and a lot more questions that need to be answered. Because the beauty of a product is, for example, what is this? These are, what is this? These are the AirPods case.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if I just mentioned once and you understood the entire thing because you and me know what an AirPod is. Okay. What if I come up with something and and you have to use it? And once you are not able to use it or touch it, you will definitely will have a lot of questions. And you will ask the designer or the company that why did you make it like this? It's not functioning in the way as I expected to. Your instructions are completely different. That is the place where a designer should intervene and try to solve that as well.
Yeah. So,
And that
so,
temporary, yeah,
so it's interesting that you brought up two perspectives. One is the importance of research in the design phase, but the other part is the importance of limiting your research as well. Because if you spend all your time on research, then you probably will lose steam. And
yes,
and, and any product that we see, you always have a version
any,
one, version two, version three, version four. So they always
yes,
start
yes,
off, right?
yes, yes, yes,
So even the iPhone, for example,
yes,
version one was great,
yes,
but it's at some point of time they had to stop the research and release the product before they and start working
yes.
on the next version.
Yes, because the technologies were constantly changing, and there were so many new things that they were already coming up in their own R&D labs. So they are always on the rise of experimenting and giving the user the best that they can at that particular time and age.
Right.
Because the
And a lot of times, while the research has started for the next phase, the product for the first phase has still not launched. They're still,
yes,
developing, going on
yes.
developing, right?
Usually in the electronic industry, it is said that they plan for another 3 to 4 years or 3 to 5 years, sorry. So they have usually like this plan that they will be rolling out these things. Like for example, if you look at if you just study these chips called Snapdragon or NVIDIA, they usually have like a 3000 series or a 6000 series or a 5000 series. The higher the number, the expensive the chip is. So once the technology is actually up that level where the 6000 series is also now not feeling enough, they always come up with another four more series. So this is how they always keep reinventing themselves, keeping the core important.
Absolutely, absolutely. Now, when we go into the design stage, right?
Yes,
You touched upon something which is very, very touchy for everybody. The
tell
biggest
me.
concern is that, okay, why I'm scared to talk about my design to other people because they may steal my ideas, my intellectual property may go, and I may lose somebody else will steal my idea. I mean, that's biggest concern that people have when they start designing. Now, um, you mentioned that the design process is critical here,
Yes, very.
right? So how does following a design process prevent someone else from stealing the idea?
It To be very honest, it won't prevent anyone from stealing the idea. But the whole idea is that no one will be able to steal your journey. Maybe I'm saying that okay, probably this is my design. I usually use one of my table stationery as one of my models. Okay, steal that idea, steal it, but come up with a very good story. Stealing up a design, you think that it is going to be so easy that the other person will go and win an award. It usually does not happen in the reality. It's just a feeling, it's just a fear. Okay, I can understand that in the manufacturing areas where there are not many changes done, over there, a lot of plagiarism and all of these things happen, but they are also very much secure by themselves. So, what you can do is you can always register your designs in the legal process and always patent your designs. You have a patents office in India where they file a lot of patents, but it takes about 2 to 3 months and then you can do it. But as a very nascent stage as a student level, I would like to suggest that always have your journal, which is always ready, where all the design diary, where all the documentations of your design is recorded. And the whole idea is that even if you steal my design, you will not be able to tell the story of why you actually created the whole idea. Okay, because everything design, I end of the day, I always say that design is nothing but an investigative journey. I usually tell my students that you are designers outside the skin, but really you are detectives inside. And the crime that you have to solve is probably design a new chair, probably design a new electronic device. So this approach really tickles their mind to go forward and try to challenge themselves a little bit even more and more. And this will really help in cultivating their own ethos in terms of what this is. Because I'll tell you one thing: if in a class of 30 students or even 10 students are there, all of them are different with their own approaches because all of them have different ideologies and experiences in life. So do you
All right. I'm not sure if it's my, if Professor Rohit has lost network or if it's me. I'm not sure if. All right. I think Professor Rohit has lost network and we'll wait for him to come back. But in the meanwhile, I hope this has been a very insightful session for you. And I was trying to bring in Raina as well. Yeah,
Yes, I think I just lost connection. Sorry.
no worries, no worries. I thought I'd get Raina in as well, but she also was not there. I saw that she lost
Yeah,
it.
we all froze. Yeah. Sorry.
Okay,
Yeah.
right.
So yeah, I hope you get the idea of what I was actually trying to convey in terms of that
Absolutely.
design. What I and at the end, I just would like to say that design is not just about what it looks like. It is always meant to be proven. For example, you see any detail, every person has the right to know that why did you color this black? Why is this curved? Why did this have a notch? Why? And so on and so forth. You can go ahead.
All right, all right, all right. So understood the importance of the discover phase where research is critical, the design phase where you follow the design process, and that creates a unique product or outcome, or because so every process that you follow, every decision that you take along the process results has a different outcome. And that's really what's unique. So even there, it's not something, it's always research based. The outcome is always research
Yes,
based, and it's not something that can
yes.
be
But the picture that I was showing you right now was a very simple, clean slate picture. The whole idea is that in the field of design, we always have to understand the idea that we always have to redo, and redo. Not only because of the reason that we always have to perfect it, because of the reasons where we discover that there can be areas where the user can have a lot of problems because of this particular detail. So what we try to do is we fall back on the research and then we come back to design, then we fall back on the research, and then probably we use one of those elements in our delivery parts. So,
Right.
it's a constant journey where we are evolving and trying to create. But it's the whole idea of a lot of challenges and battles also, which is a very enjoyable phase.
All right, all right. So, Raina, I would like to bring you on shortly, but yeah, maybe a couple of more questions for Rohit before we get you on. Rohit, you
Definitely.
also mentioned that it's important to create 5 to 7 concepts when in the design phase, right? Um, Now, this is what happens to a lot of designers, that they hit these design roadblocks where they focus on one design or maybe two concepts and then that's it, right? They're not able to
Yeah.
generate more concepts. So how do you get over that block?
So that's for that. Usually, I have like a whenever I teach in the designing phase, I start with a lot of mood boards. Okay, and once you have a lot of mood boards, you will understand that if you ask the question in if you conclude your research very interestingly in the research phase, you will definitely have much better outcomes, something that will surprise you as well. Wait, I want to create a chair which someone has never ever looked. This is no statement. You will definitely imagine that, okay, a chair, you have always you always know that it has four legs, or probably it has those wheels, and then you have a seat, and then you have a backrest. You always recognize these elements. Let me rephrase my words again, and let me just come up with this thing. I want to create something that provides me comfort while I'm sitting. What can that be? And do you think the only answer is a chair?
No, not
Do you
necessarily.
think?
Yeah.
No, it's just that. And after asking this question, how can one person just come up with two concepts? They will not come up with two concepts. They'll come up with 15 concepts. Well, they'll reject 10, and then they'll come up with the five best of them. It's called the best of five.
Okay. Okay. Got
Yeah.
that. Got that. And the last question
Yeah.
then I would think is from the deliver phase. What do you think is the most critical part of the deliver phase?
I believe that in the deliver phase, you are nothing but a storyteller. But you should pin and point out each and every slide in such a manner that you come up with the arrival of your concept as a believable story, something which you can use, and it is something that you've been missing in your life, or probably if you do this in this manner, it will be much easier. Okay, probably what if I want to hang five suits in one hanger? Or probably how do I organize so many different sized folders and files and my books in one particular area? All these types of things. So I usually come up with this approach called pecha kucha. Okay. In the Pecha Kucha approach, it is nothing but a 20 slide presentation, only 20 slide presentation, and each slide should be spoken for 20 seconds only. So in total, you have 400 seconds only. So you're not wasting a lot of time for a lot of people. And it is just 6 minutes, 40 seconds in total, almost and almost all. For example, if I sit with you for a coffee, Dion sir, I think 6 minutes, 40 seconds, or probably 5 or 7 minutes is enough for me to convince or tell you one idea that I just cultivated. So it really does not waste a lot of people's time. And in that limited time budget, you are able to communicate each and everything. For example, I'll just give you an idea that 60% of India's population is farmers. Okay. But but if you see the entire population of India, 70% of us are youth, which are below the age of 40. And in that 70%, 80% of us, 80% of that 70% crowd, probably that is whatever that number is. I'm not too good with math. But out of those 140 crores, what if I say that 80% of them are aged between 18 to 25, that age group. And if I give you a tool for a person who is living away from a family so that he can organize his food, or cook a better roti, or uh, not destroy the food that he can keep for 2 or 3 months, in that way. For example, my sister yesterday, she just flew to another country for her studies. and my mother packed so many rotis for her and chapatis for her, just like any other Indian mother. How can I see that as an opportunity and create certain products for her so that she can retain this for another longer shelf life? All these types of things. What I would like to also say, along with this, is that we as Indians, we are a very, very rich culture. And this is just one of the cultures in the entire world. We should always study and research about how other cultures are solving certain problems that we are probably just, so erratically, just being very frivolously irritated about. And some of them really do it just like a breath of fresh air and then just sway it easily. So this is something we should always study and keep looking into the news of how people are working.
Yep, yep,
So I
yep.
always encourage the students to do some news also and to
Yeah.
get a lot of insights like this so that they can build on to their story.
Yeah, you mentioned that, and of course, India is a very rich culture, and at least we're retaining a lot of our cultural heritage. I mean, I was at a conference in Singapore where I was with researchers from Australia, and they were telling me that the Aboriginal culture there, every village is different, and every day they have their cultures just dying out, and so they have a much larger challenge to preserve their cultural heritage, and
Probably they can learn from us
yeah,
how
yeah,
we are
maybe,
so
maybe,
how we are
absolutely,
so interrelated with each other. We always take
absolutely,
care of everyone else. Yeah.
absolutely. Reina, I'd like to get you on here. Fantastic.
Absolutely. Hi,
Yeah.
everyone.
Hi. Reena, thanks for coming on. There's a question from Jaswin who's
Oh, okay.
asking about the hostel facilities at TDV.
Hmm. So, Jaswant. Yes, hi, Jaswant. It's very nice to meet you if you're watching me right now. I have spoken to him before, and yes, we do have hostel facilities. We have a hostel facility separate for girls and separate for boys. It's always going to be less than 5 kilometers from within the campus itself. And it includes your stay, the Wi-Fi, your housekeeping, your laundry services, your meals, and even the transportation to and from the hostel to the campus and back. So, and rooms are usually twin sharing or triple sharing. In the first year, students mostly want to stick together, they want to huddle up together, and they usually opt for the triple sharing room. And yes, it is so a hostel is taken care of by Gable Stay. Now the reason we do that, it's because it standardizes the way you live. Very clean rooms. I do have a PDF also, just one, so I'll send it to you as well. So, and I think you can have a closer look at the rooms. And we're on the verge of shifting our hostel facilities because we're getting a lot of queries from outstation students, and the updated room photographs, I will share them with you.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. And Reena, what would you say would be, the strongest reason why students should consider TDV as an option?
Of course. So, number one is I think TDV has been in the market for 10 years plus. We are one of the only design institutes in the country that is founded by designers and that is run by designers. So, that is the reason we realize there's a gap in the kind of skill set that one looks for in designers, and we want to merge that gap and give clients the full on experience of the skill sets that were missing in India. And TDV started after a year long research. And that's how we incorporated that into the Indian education system and in comparison with the international standards as well. Why one should choose TDV? Because from the first year onwards, what we take immense pride in, all the assignments that you get, they are all real time client projects. They are not these virtual assignments or hypothetical situations that we give you. We have companies coming from outside. They give you a situation, they give you a problem, and as designers you are expected to find a solution and deliver the same. So what that does is it instills the concept of what it's like to be a designer from as soon as first year onwards. So by the time you're in fourth year, you know what it takes to deal with the client, how to work around feedback, how to allocate your time, your resources, how to put a price on your time. And obviously, a big part of being a designer is actually marketing your skills. and showcasing to your client what kind of design you can produce and how innovative your solution is. And unless you're able to express that, and unless we train you for that, it's obviously not going to be possible for designers to get that kind of training and actually showcase your talent to the world. So that is something that TDV does, which is very unique, and we take a lot of pride in that.
Interesting. So the research, you said the research which has been done before TDV was started was so the model I understand is very much um, based on the Netherlands model, isn't it?
Dutch education system, that's correct.
Yeah. So that's the basis, but adapted to an Indian context.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely.
So that's one aspect. The second aspect, and I thought was very interesting, is the evaluation system where students are evaluated not against each other but against themselves, right?
Absolutely.
Could you give us a little more clarity on that, or maybe you or Rohit, whoever, either of
So
you?
fun fact about us is that we don't have exams. We don't have exams. We are a very non-traditional school, to put it for a better lack of word. So at the end of every year, we have something called a jury. Again, where your project is evaluated from A to Z and questions something as simple as why did you choose this font? And again, you are treated like a designer and a client is taking your brief. So that is how we evaluate our projects. And this is not just done once a year. It's done almost every 3 to 4 months to even monitor your project. And again, since you're dealing with real clients, I think that is the real test that one really prepares for you, that one really prepares you for in life. So clients come and take your evaluation as well. So that is the real test as to how you perform as a designer in the real world. And that is what
When
we
you
do.
say
And we
client,
don't
you mean
believe in.
people from industry actually come and
Absolutely.
yeah.
Absolutely. We have a
And
lot of mentors, industry experts who come in, guide our students, give them projects. Our projects get chosen as well. So students are recruited again as soon as second year. Their projects are being evaluated by designers as soon as second year.
so do you think it helps that, I mean, the connect with industry is probably because the way you all are located, we all are directly in touch with industry, or does the location have a lot to do with it?
Location definitely does have a lot to do with it. TDV again takes a lot of pride in being very industry centric. We are located in Noida, Sector 8. Again, good thing is we're in the capital of the country. And then again, our location, because there are multiple studios and factories. The Adobe office is less than a kilometer away from our campus. So we have a lot of guests coming from there, giving a talk to our students. There are multiple studios also we've tied up with, where only TDV students can go and work with them under their mentorship and use some of the equipments if they want to. So again, yes, location is definitely an advantage for us.
All right. Thank you. All right. With that, we come to the end of the session. Thank you so much to Rohit and Reena for being here. Rohit, very
Thank
insightful
you.
discussion
Thank
on
you so much.
discover, design, and deliver. And Reena, wonderful insights about the school and the hostel, and hopefully the audience has learned a lot about the design process and discover, design, and deliver, and also got to know a little more about TDV as well and the concept as to why and how y'all run your programs. So fantastic! Thank you for being here,
Thank you so much.
and looking forward to more interactions with y'all.